Hi guys, welcome to my channel. This is Nanda and this is my husband Ryan. So
Hello.
today is actually my first video on YouTube and on this channel, and I'm very excited about it. So I did ask I did ask my people on Instagram to ask us questions about our history, and thank you very much guys for doing it. So we're gonna try to answer all of them in this video. Yeah.
Okay.
We're gonna do our best.
Should I read the first one or should you?
I don't know. We can I do one and then you do one.
I want to do the first one.
Okay, great.
Okay. Because I don't know if you remember this one. How did
I do.
You do? Okay.
Of course I do.
Of course. How did we meet?
How did we meet? So, giving a little background. So I was 2 months without social media. Then I came back to Facebook. And I was scrolling and they kept advertising this new app for me. I mean, actually they were advertising something. I didn't know what it was. And I was like, what is this? And I kept I ignored it a couple of times. And then I finally clicked on it because I was curious. And when I saw it was this, it looked like a dating app. And I started putting my information on. And I was like, you know what? I don't want to do that because I never thought I would meet someone really on online dating. And I was also confused because I was like, why Facebook is trying to do that? I was confused. But then I was like, you know what? I don't want to do that. It never worked for me. I don't think that's what God wants for me. And then I went out. But when I came back to Facebook, there was a lot of people already liking my profile. I was like, oh, I think it's too late to give up on it. And then I started engaging it, and I actually never went on a date with anybody else, and he was the first person.
Me. I was the first one?
Yes.
From that app or in general?
From that app.
I was her first date ever. She only needed one date, and that was it.
Yes. Do you want to talk about
my side?
That's how we met, yeah.
I could do my side.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I had been single for a while, and I didn't want to use what everybody else was using for dating apps. I needed a dating app, I thought, because I was like, you know what? I got to try something new. So installed, I saw Facebook dating was a thing, and I was like, sure. I use Facebook for my day job, and I was like, yeah, why not just give it a whirl, So I did my profile, and I was like, yeah, I'm not going to do a lot of the stuff, I was like, I don't care about this. I want to talk to somebody. I don't care about what is your favorite frog? I'm like, I don't know, so don't worry about that. And I got through it. I did so many profiles. I was trying to you know what? I'm going to just give this my all for a month and just see what happens. So I did so many profiles that Facebook ran out of people to serve me. There was some crap. Let me tell you, there were some bad apples. You know what I'm saying? And I matched with a couple girls, and I was talking to one of them, and it was talking to a brick wall. Wouldn't respond to me, whatever. And then I see this really, really cute brown-haired girl with a bunch of Bible verses in her profile. And I sent her a message about, oh, it's nice to meet you. And what's your favorite ice cream? Because in her profile, she had stuff about ice cream. I was, what do I ask her? So I sat there for an hour going okay, what do I think is the right question? Is it ice cream? Talk about traveling. So I put a lot of thought in, and it was good I did, because he responded.
Yeah, he did a great job with that. I really liked it. The meeting, I was cracking up.
All right, we're gonna do the next question now. Do you want to ask it or me?
I can ask that one. Who initiated?
Who started it?
Yes.
Oh, me. Of course. Me. Yeah. I asked the ice cream. Hey, nice to meet you. What's your favorite ice cream? I said that on the last answer. But what's important about that is that some of the girls that were on the app would say a question, and then I would answer back, and they wouldn't talk. And I was like, it's a dating app. Why aren't you talking?
Thank God they didn't.
Thank God. But then I said one question to her, and she started talking back to me. So we talked back and forth. We were talking for 2 weeks, a week and a half. Oh my God.
I think 2 weeks, yeah. He was cute. So.
Was. All right, so I get to ask question 3, right? How was the first date?
Well, I was an au pair at the time, and we said we're gonna go to the church, right? And so I wasn't feeling very well that day. I was a little sick. I had like a tummy achy, and I was I had to talk some stuff with my host family. I had like to put gas in the car. You know, it was like I was in the end 40 minutes late, and I was super embarrassing. I was like,
let's not just brush over that.
I was super embarrassing.
How late were you?
40 minutes. And then like I said like, okay. And then when I was approaching the parking lot, the church parking lot was too full that they had I had to go to an extra parking lot to park the car actually. And then while I was going there, he called me, and I was like, oh no, I don't want to pick it up. I was like very embarrassed. And then I was like, hi.
What were you like? You were
hi.
not like, hi. You were like, hello.
Yeah, I was like,
Hello, this is Nanda. Welcome to my channel.
yeah, it was very soft spoken.
Yeah.
I was really confused. Go ahead.
yeah. And then he said, oh, you know, church is almost done. And I was like, so sorry. And then he said, oh, can you pick me up? And I was like, he wants me to pick him up. I was like, I can't believe. I was like, okay, fine, I'm gonna go there. And then I was embarrassed, and I was nervous, and I was like, okay. Then I picked him up in front of the church, and then it was a little rainy also, right? And then we went to Starbucks, and we were talking. Yeah, we were talking for an hour, I think.
Something like that. Hour or two. It flew by.
Yeah.
Flew by.
Then we came back to church. Do you want to finish?
I'll tell my side of it.
Okay. So, and then that was a good, like, you know, church service. And then we went to a restaurant, like a small restaurant, and we had like lunch. And that was it. That was good. I felt comfortable with him, but, you know, I was like kind of hopeless with men in general, especially Christian men.
Me too.
Around this area. So I was like, okay, let's see this guy. I don't really, you know, let's see. But yeah, I thought since the beginning, I thought he was cute, but I was like, I gotta watch him, you know.
Gotta watch him.
Yeah.
Gotta be careful. So, my side. Okay. I have a rule that when I was dating, now I don't have the rule anymore because I don't have to date anybody ever again, thank God. Or rather, I don't have to take somebody out for the first time, you know, thank God. So
you still have to date me.
I have to. That is true. I have to date. So I have a rule that like I have to go see through 2 to 3 dates, at very least see through 2 dates, because who knows what's happening in our lives day to day, right? So I'm sitting there in the parking lot, and I'm, for the first time in my life, I'm going like, do I just leave? Like, screw my 2-date rule, 3-date rule. It's 35 minutes, you know. I'm like, where is she? And so I call her up, and I'm like, hey, you know, church is done. Where are you? And she's like,
oh, I'm almost there. I'm almost there, you know. I'll be there soon.
And I was like, okay. So it was really, because I didn't know her. I had no idea. I didn't know what an au pair was until I started dating her. That's why I had the 2 to 3 day rule, because you just don't know what's going on. So I was like, fine, I'm just going to wait, because I was talking to the Holy Spirit, and I was like, what do I do? And the Holy Spirit was like, are you going to regret it if you leave? She's a Christian. She's cute. Like, what are you going to do? And I was like, well, okay, I'm just going to wait. So I get in her car, and as I get in her car, I realized that was probably a mistake, because she was like white knuckling the wheel, you know, like, this guy's in my car. What is he doing? You know, so it was just a fun time. And we went to Starbucks. I talked too much, and it was just a good time. I had a really good time, and I was glad I waited, because, you know, you just got to see through a couple dates, because otherwise, how do you know if it's gonna be good or bad? You have no idea.
How do you know? Next question. How long did we date?
Oh, it was like 4 years.
For sure.
And 7 months and 45 days. Isn't that right? It was about 11 months.
It was
of-
11 months, yeah.
I think like almost to the day, because we started dating. Yeah, it was almost 11
Yeah.
months. Like,
Exactly.
the last one was easy. This one's a bit of a doozy. This one's kind of incredible, actually. Okay.
Yeah.
How were you sure that I was the one to marry?
Wow. That's very
What did I
intense
do?
question. And good question.
What did I know?
Good question. I think we were always comfortable with each other and we matched very well. We had great communication always. Even though my first language is Portuguese, he always said that he spoke Nanda. You know, he spoke
speak Nanda.
my language,
I
or
do.
like my soul language, I think. And we talked every night, and also like we like used to video call and we prayed together and read the Bible, you know, and we had like a very good communication in general. And he also knew what he wanted. I know what I wanted, and he was very confident, you know, like he wasn't a boy. I think I met a lot of boys in my life, and I knew how
I'm a
to
boy.
recognize a man,
Yeah.
which you were a man.
Not
so
a boy man. Yes, that's better. I was
yeah,
like, excuse me,
he
I
was a
am.
man. Like he had like Christian man, you know, attitude, and that was very good. You know, like it was very telling for me, you know. So that was, I think, why. And we had like, I think also something very important as Christians, we want like someone that wants to live in purpose with God, and you know, and also like I wanted to wait for marriage, you know, and I couldn't find an American like I'm not saying that there are none, I just couldn't find any of them available. And I was like, looks like I'm gonna have to marry another nationality because I couldn't find. But thank God I found him, and that's why.
Thank God.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, thank you, honey.
Yeah.
Wait, do I have to answer now?
I
Me?
think so, yeah.
How was I sure that you were the one to marry? Well, I think the communication thing is what I thought too, because every girl I've ever dated, we have like fights sometimes, everybody does, but it's like you got me and you picked me. That this is it, and my best friends would know this. You picked me when it was hard, when stuff was really tight monetarily, when I was really struggling to like get my other business ventures off the ground. She still said, let's do this together, let's pray about it, and let's move forward. That like was such a massive checkbox to me. Nobody had ever done that to me before. Nobody had ever heard me say, here's my aspirations, here's my business things that I'm doing, and then said, let's go pray about it. How can I help? And everybody else was like, all the other girls were like, are you sure? And that's a little much. It was always some support, some of them, but she was like all support all the time. So we always had really good communication. So I think that was why.
And we always wanted to follow God's plan for us.
I agree. All right, this next question's fun. What were the biggest challenges in the beginning of the relationship?
That's a great question. Of course, COVID lockdown. That was terrible for our relationship. I lived with my host family, another host family by that time. And I couldn't touch him literally for 2 months. I couldn't. Like that was.
Let's not brush over that. 2 months that we only called each other like every day.
And yeah, we could see each other but not touch. So we had to like be 6 feet apart from each other. It was like that was one time that we actually touched feet, but don't tell anyone.
It was so awkward and still like intimate because we hadn't touched each other in like a month at that point. We like rubbed our feet up against each other in the cold, and it was so like it was dumb and romantic.
Yes, that's true. For me, that was it. And also, he spoke very fast. He speaks very fast, so.
I don't speak that fast.
In the beginning, maybe not in this video, but like sometimes I would ask him, "Oh, what did you say?"
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Sometimes, not all the time.
Only sometimes.
What,
Right.
honey?
Right.
What the heck?
It was only some. Yeah, I'm just saying what you said. It was only sometimes
I
that
think
she
it's
would-
only sometimes.
that she would do that. Okay. So-
In the beginning, especially, but then I got used to his speed.
And to be
Right.
fair to her, I speak fast. Like right now, it's the YouTube voice. You know, I'm chilling. But when we're dating, it's like, hey, do you want to go get some French fries? Do you want to go to McDonald's to go get some French fries? And she's like,
Slow down. Yeah. Okay. For me, that was like the most.
my turn.
Yes.
So early on,
I don't know what he's gonna say.
she was like, oh yeah, this one's a fun one. I think I've told you the story before. She was like in the basement, and so was I. So the cell phone service sucked. Yeah, and she had this habit of like putting her phone down and like walking around the room and talking to me. But it was like the fourth phone conversation. So I didn't know what to do when it went from, I would ask her a question and go, hey, so how was your day? And on her side, I would hear like, yeah, it was fine. And then I was, and it was just garbling because she would just walk away from her phone. And I'm sitting there going, I don't understand what the hell she's saying. And because all I hear is like, you know, so I didn't know what to say because I had just met this girl. So finally, I like mustered up the courage because I was literally praying, going like, what do I do? And again, like, what do I do here, God? And he was like, you got to be able to talk to her. And I was like, all right. So I go, hi, excuse me, sorry. And she like stops talking. I go, hi, I don't know if you like walked away from your phone or something, but it's really hard to hear you. It sounds like a robot. And then she goes, oh, sorry about that. So anyway, my day was good and the host kid and then I could hear her again and I was like, oh, thank God. But it happened a couple more times and then I finally asked her like, hey, can you use your headphones? Because the mic on the headphones is better. And we ended up talking on the phone like every day.
Every night.
Like not hyperbole.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, and we prayed every night also. We prayed. Sometimes we read the Bible to each other. So,
yeah.
Yes.
It was hard, but we made it work.
Okay, next question. Have you heard about Brazil before and what have you heard?
Okay, so
I'm actually curious.
I've heard about Brazil before. Duh, it's a giant. It's huge. I know about Brazil. This is not meant to be offensive because now it's going to be offensive. So strap in. Before I met her, I didn't know anything about Brazil because I'd never been there. I don't know Brazilian culture. I don't know anything about that. But as a gamer, there's a meme that gamers do that I don't do anymore because again, we don't know about Brazil. That if you're driving out of a city in a like video game, there's like a bunch of like holes in the ground, and if there's like smoke rising from tires, and if there's like a wasteland, some people, not me, some people would say, oh look, it's Brazil. And it was really bad. And I always thought, and even before I met you, I always was like, why? Like all the pictures I've seen of Brazil have been tropical and nice, and it's the Amazon, and I don't understand that. But that was like all I knew of Brazil, but it was just an incorrect meme. So
very incorrect.
Actually. It's weird thinking about it now because that's not how it is. All right. This one's a fun one. Mm-hmm. What does your family think about you marrying an American?
So my dad always knew I wanted to live an international experience, and I always also wanted to get married and, you know, have my family. So when he knew I was marrying, he was happy for me, you know, and I think he likes it, even though he can't really communicate with you for now.
He does.
But
he says,
he's
thank
happy.
you.
Yeah, he's happy that I am here. And, you know, my family is happy also. They know I always wanted to marry, you know, and I wanted to eventually live in America if I liked it. And, you know, and you're Christian, you treat me well. So it's more about who you are than your nationality. You know, it's like if you were Brazilian, if you were European, whatever you were, they would be happy about it. You know, because you treat me well and you're a good husband. You know.
I'm a good husband?
You're a great husband.
Thank you.
Yeah. So actually, he never met my family in person. So I really want him to meet my family, you know.
Soon.
Yes. And also, they can come to visit us. We're excited about that. And I think it would be a good cultural exchange.
Yeah. Yeah.
Next question. What do you think about marrying a Brazilian?
What do I think?
Yes.
I was fine. I never really cared about what someone's nationality is really. Like, I grew up in a very multicultural school. I was the minority where it was like every kind of person from every kind of conceivable background was on my bus, let alone in my neighborhood. So I never really cared. My friends will tell you that I have a type, and that is a very cute brown-haired tan women, so with nice deep brown eyes. Well, I lucked out there because that's exactly what I found. Yeah, I'm totally fine with it, obviously.
Yes.
Yeah.
What does Ryan's family thought about him marrying a Brazilian?
Well, this one's a little fun because at first they didn't get it. And part of that was because my family grew up in the States, and my parents went to college together, and they met at college, then they got married after college. It was like all their close friends were all their people, and that's how they met. So to marry somebody that you didn't know previously, let alone someone that was new to the country, was like foreign to them, and they didn't really get it at first until they met her. And when they met her, it wasn't just that she was freaking gorgeous, because you are gorgeous, honey. It was that how she treated me was very evident that she cared about me. And my parents saw that, and then almost immediately changed their tone and changed how they were talking to me about the relationship, because it was like why are you doing that? And then it became wow, she's really great, so it was just, I feel like that's pretty normal when, especially in America anyway, at least what I've observed, that if someone is dating somebody not from here, the parents are going to be like, well, why? Because it's just more steps. But even from the beginning, I was like, I don't really care about those extra steps because they get you. Does your relationship have a lot of culture shock?
Mm-hmm.
That much?
I don't know, really. Like, we don't have a lot of culture problems, really. Like, sometimes I want to say something that, has an expression in Portuguese, and sometimes I have to explain to you, or sometimes I need to say something and I ask him to help me, but it's not like, I don't know, other
I don't think we have a
issues.
lot. I don't think we have a lot. Sometimes, right, sometimes there's a saying that she'll explain to me.
Yeah.
Or sometimes there's a saying that I'll explain to her. Actually, our first date, when we were at the Starbucks, we were talking about it. My grandpa was in the Navy, and when you use the restroom, when you're on the ship, he says, I'm going to go hit the head, because you go to the head of the ship. I think that's why. And I said it just because it's in my brain. My grandpa trained this in me. So I had to use the restroom. So I said to her on our first date back in the day, oh, I'm going to go hit the head. And she tells me later that she was looking around and going, is he going to go hit his head? Like, what happened to him? Where'd he go? And she's like, what the heck? But that kind of stuff, it happened like early on, just a little bit, because the sayings aren't really that different. And then from there, it was easy.
Okay, let's go to the next question. How did the decision of getting married happen?
Ooh, yeah. So like July, August, we were having like very serious conversations about marriage. And it kind of came to a head where we'd been dating since December, January of like the previous part of the year. And it was at the point where with her immigration timings and with my business timings and all this stuff, like either I had to commit or I had to let her go. And because I've been having a great time, but there's a lot going on with COVID. It was the height of the pandemic and all that. So I prayed about it for like a week and a half, 2 weeks. And the more I prayed, the more I was like, I think this is her. And I literally made a pro-con list about all the things. And it was like the pro was like to the floor. There were so many things. And the con was just immigration status, right? That was it. And I put that on there 3 times, just to be fair, because it is a big problem. It is a thing to deal with. But it didn't even come close. And I told myself, if I let this amazingly beautiful Christian woman who's as brilliant as she is gorgeous slip through my fingers because of legal stuff, then I'm going to regret it for the rest of my life. So we talked about it and we decided.
Yeah. So I was in my 6th host family, and I was already 2 years here in 2 months. So I was very mentally tired, you know, of it. And it was during the pandemic. So, you know, I was like thinking about it, and we were thinking about getting married. And then I said, okay, let's do it if we're thinking to plan to the next year. And then he decided to talk to a lawyer, right, honey?
Immigration lawyer.
Yeah. And then the lawyer said that we should get married sooner if we wanted to.
The lawyer said we need to get married now.
Yeah,
like
because of COVID, all the process taking a long time. So she said that if you want to get married, you do as soon as possible, you know, so you can start the papers. And that's what we did.
That's what we did.
Yeah. We could like she said, like as soon as possible. We could have get married in September, and we did in November. So we gave ourselves a little time, you know.
They even said go to the courthouse and just go start the process. And I didn't want to do that because we had a little bit of time, and I remember talking about this. We had a little bit of time. I was like, no, we need to have a ceremony. We're not going to just have, because we didn't know what the world was going to look like, because the height of the pandemic, there was so much fear and so much chaos running around.
Yeah.
And it's similar now, but it's in a different way, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But really the decision to get married came about because we both decided to. We both prayed about it, and we knew that this is it.
Yeah, I never would get married to someone because of immigration status. Never. Never ever. You know, I never was.
Right. We were already getting married. The immigration lawyer moved our timetable up.
Yeah.
A couple months. So.
Yeah. I really wanted to get married because I loved him, and he was the person that I felt God present to me, you know, that we had the same like purpose, you know, and we trust God and we loved each other. We were very comfortable with each other. So that was why I had no doubts about it. That's why.
Thank you, babe.
Guys, thank you very much for watching our video.
Woohoo.
Yes. And if you're not subscribed yet, please subscribe. And if you liked the video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and comment what you think about it. If you have another questions, if you have another video suggestions.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, everybody. See you in the next video. Bye. Okay, next. I can't say next.
No, go.
Okay, next. Oh my God. First day that he answered me. No, since the first day that we talked.
I lost it when you said no. Since the first day that he pressed no, it's not what I mean. It's not it.
Since
do you want to, or no? Sorry, I said.
Thanks,
Everybody.
See you.
Thanks, everybody.
See you in the next video. Say again.